This video explains how to create and interpret a time series plot. Any numeric variable that is time series in nature can be used to create a time series plot. The main purpose of graphing changes over time is to show whether the variable increases or decreases over time, and whether there are a lot of ups and downs or just a plain linear trend in the variable. By the end of this video, you will learn how to create a basic time series line plot. We'll use data on the number of views that one of the bloggers received on his YouTube channel. The question that will drive this exploration is, what is the change in pattern in the daily views of the blogger's posts on YouTube? The data source can be found in the textbook, and it is as follows. The first step is to create an R code chunk in the R Markdown file by clicking Code, Insert Chunk. Once you have done this, you will see an empty R code chunk in your RMD file. The second step is to turn the records above into two variables. We will call the first variable date, and it is a calendar date variable. We will call the second variable views, and this variable stores the number of views for each of their 7 YouTube videos. We will use the C function and the assignment symbol to create these two variables. We'll also add comment lines to explain what the code does. The first comment line explains that we are going to create two variables, date and views. After the first line code that generates a character variable date using the C function, we need to apply a special function, asDate, to let R specify this variable as a calendar date variable. To do so, we need to add a second line of code that converts the variable called date into a calendar date variable and then overrides the old calendar date variable. So this is the special function asDate. As you can see in this second line of code, we apply the asDate function to convert the old character variable into a calendar date variable in the format of month, day, year. Note how the date format is specified the quotation marks, the percentage symbol, forward slash, M for month, D for day, and Y for year. Next, we create views variable by using the same C function and the assignment symbol. However, since all observations in this number of views variable called views are more than 100,000, and we want to make the labeling of the variable values more legible on the y-axis, we will convert this variable value into number of views in thousands. To convert this variable value into the number of views in thousands, we may do so by dividing the output of the C function by 1000. The third step is to use the plot function to create a time series plot with a comment line explaining what we are going to do next. Make sure that inside the plot function, you list the variable called date first, because it falls on the x-axis, and then list the variable views second, so that it falls on the y-axis. Then we need to tell R the type of plot we want to create. The type option controls the type of plot you will have. There are several types to choose from. If you specify type equals I, then it will give a plot with lines between data points. If you specify type equals P, then it will give a plot of only points. If you specify type equals B, like we do in this example, then it will give a plot of both lines and points. Whereas O gives overplotted points and lines, S connects data points by stair steps, and H draws each data point as a histogram line, vertical line. You may want to experiment with the other different plot types other than B to become more confident in creating different plots. Next, as with creation of any plot in R, we add a title using the main function, main option, which is numbers of views of videos by a blogger on YouTube. Then add two more options, YLab and XLab, to define the labels for their Y and X axis respectively. In this case, the x-axis is labeled as February 16 to 25, 2018, and the y-axis as number of views in thousands. This completes the R code to create a time series plot. Next step is to run this code chunk by clicking on the icon Run Current Code Chunk. That will produce this graph showing the number of views that the blogger got in February on YouTube. The x-axis on this plot is labeled February 16 to 25, 2018, and it shows the dates February 16, February 18, February 20, February 22nd, February 24th on x-axis. The y-axis is labeled number of views in thousands. And the values on this axis range from 400 to 800 in intervals of 100. The final step is to interpret the graph as follows for this example. The graph demonstrates the change in temporal pattern in the popularity of the 7 chosen videos by the blogger from his YouTube channel for the dates February 16 to 25, 2018. The first video, uploaded on February 16, received the most views, exceeding 800,000. Every video after that received far fewer views, although the February 22nd video appears to be the second most popular, with slightly over 500 views. This video explained how to create and interpret a time series plot.